Do fighters have to pay any fees to get the Ring Magazine belt?
No.
Okay.
They don't pay anything. The fighters don't pay anything. The managers don't pay anything. The promoters don't pay anything. The networks don't pay anything. There's no contract with us, as there is with the sanctioning organizations. It's our championship is based only on who you beat. You got to work your way up the rankings. If you can work your way up into the number 1 or number 2 position and then fight that next best fighter, or in some cases, number 1 versus number 3, you can win a vacant Ring Magazine championship belt. The other way to win that belt is to beat a sitting or a defending Ring Magazine champion. And there's we spend the money. You know what I'm saying? Like we spend money having the belt manufactured by Title Boxing, and they do a great job. And we spend the money in shipping that belt out wherever it is, anywhere in the world, wherever it is. It could be Thailand, it can be Japan, it can be, Ukraine, wherever it is. If the fighter can't come to us to get that belt, we will ship the belt out to that fighter.
So
Australia, South America, whatever. Sometimes it's really costly, but we eat that cost.
I get it. How do you determine who gets the ring belt or not?
Like I said, you have to. In the past, okay, like when there was just 8 weight classes,
if you could summarize it, like how do you determine it?
Yeah, in the past, basically, the Ring Magazine Championship was the championship. It was the lineal championship.
Okay.
The first champions to receive the belt in 1922 was Jack Dempsey, and then it was Pancho Villa, who was a popular flyweight champion. But those guys were undisputed. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody else claiming. So those first Ring Magazine Championship belts, and everybody had one in every division by 1925. They were also the lineal champions. They were undisputed because there was nobody else. Everybody agreed. There was Ring Magazine. There was the NBA, the National Boxing Association, and that was it. And at the start, everybody was in agreement. Now, as time went on, sometimes the NBA would recognize somebody different than what the Ring Magazine would recognize. But that wasn't that often. But it did happen. It did happen. Now, the championship policy was done away with in 1989 when Ring Magazine got a new publisher. And it wouldn't be reinstated until 2002. It was Editor-in-Chief Nigel Collins reinstated it in 2002. And at that time, there were only 3 undisputed champions, recognized undisputed champions in boxing. It was Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, there was Lennox Lewis at heavyweight, and Kostya Tszyu at junior welterweight. So Nigel Collins immediately recognized all 3 of those fighters as Ring Magazine champions. And he said, for all those other divisions, and there was like 13 or 14 other divisions, he said, the number one contender versus the number 2 contender. The winner of that fight will be recognized as the Ring Magazine champion. And in some cases, number 1 versus number 3. I guess maybe with the blessing of the ratings panel or whatever. And that's how it's been. That's how it's been.
Okay. So there's no such thing as promoters, fighters, advisors contact Ring and they actually get their let's say you have a list, pound for pound list. If you could just summarize it, yes or no. If no, the promoters don't get in contact with your advisors or fighters and say, hey, I want to get put on your ring list, top 10 or whatever.
No, they're not. No. You can't be a member of the ratings panel if you're a manager, even if you're a trainer. There's conflicts of interest there. Certainly if you're a promoter. Now, I get contacted, and I'm sure other members of the panel get contacted by promoters, managers, advisors, what have you, all the time about their fight. They're always hustling to get their fighter recognition. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. They've all done it. They've all, big shots, the big timers, Shelly Faithful once called me in regards to Deontay Wilder. And he wasn't saying, hey, put the Ring Magazine title on the line for Deontay. He was just asking, hey, if before the fight was made, he said, if Deontay Wilder fights Luis Ortiz, this is before their first fight, do you think that could be for the Ring Magazine title? And I said, no, it can't. And he said, why not? Because I think at the time, Wilder was number 1. I think maybe Wilder might have been the number 1 rated heavyweight. or maybe he was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Anthony Joshua was. I got to go back and see what year that was, and when Wilder fought Ortiz for the first time. And I said Ortiz is rated like number 4 or 5, and he kind of scoffed or whatever, but he respected it, you know. So we get that sort of thing, you know what I mean, from an advisor, from a manager, from a promoter. Eddie Hearn did the same thing when Joshua fought Joseph Parker before their fight. He just called an ass, you know. And then and Hearn would do that from time to time. He'd call and say, you know, especially with these British guys, like they really want to fight for the ring title. You know, it seems like more so than fighters from other parts of the world.
Mm.
And he'll ask, like, who does he have to fight to get the title, to get the vacant featherweight title or the vacant lightweight title or whatever.
Mm.
And we tell him, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when he had Anthony Corrala, it's like Corrala's got to fight Jorge Linares, because Linares is the ring champion.
Okay.
Or no, actually he wasn't.
Okay.
Linares was number 1 contender, and Corrala was number 3, and we put it on the line for them.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.